On November 20th, the Washington Post published an article titled Facing Pressure in India, Netflix and Amazon Back Down on Daring Films. It talks about how the state machinery was used against filmmakers like Anurag Kashyap, executives of OTT platforms like Amazon Prime, to spread an atmosphere of fear in the overall industry. Anything and everything, even slightly critical of the establishment, will be met with Virat Hindu mobs kind of trolling you. Cases will be filed against you, and the police will act post haste to even arrest you. If you make the current establishment, which is the larger Modi cult, uncomfortable, then there will be consequences. There were shows like AIB's Government, which starred late Irfan Khan, which were canned. Other movies and shows in production, which were even completed, were also canned and shelved and just didn't see the light of the day. These were all shows that touched on social and political issues in India. When Tandav was released, an arrest warrant was issued against an executive of Amazon Prime. In 2023, it's not like government is actively telling production houses and news channels to toe the line, but they do it themselves, and they are into this mode of extreme self-censorship. They self-censor their content so that it does not upset anyone who is powerful. Anyone who is producing content in India today is so afraid of blowback that they actively scrutinize scripts to remove even the remotest references that would upset WhatsApp uncles and Virat Hindu trolls alike. You know, the Modi cult. All of this is because of one thing: fear. There is an unsaid rule in Bollywood and in mainstream TV news media alike: nothing you produce should challenge or upset the uncles. Now, all of this, which was unsaid, is about to get worse. What was left unsaid is going to be written into law, and this video is about that law. There is a new bill in town. It's called the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. It is a proposed bill. This is going to take a bit, but please watch this video till the end because I'm going to tell you how it is going to affect you directly. Okay, so here's what Anurag Thakur, the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, said when putting out this bill in public. Advancing the Honorable Prime Minister's vision for ease of doing business and ease of living, we are proud to introduce the Draft Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. This pivotal legislation modernizes our broadcasting sector's regulatory framework, replacing outdated acts, rules, and guidelines with a unified future-focused approach. It adapts to the dynamic world of OTT, digital media, DTH, IPTV, and more, promoting technological advancement and service evolution. In short, after gaining complete control over TV news, the Modi government is coming after your favorite YouTube journalists. That's what is happening. But before I tell you how, I need to give you some context. Way back in 1995, the government brought in this law called the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act. That one was meant to impose some guidelines on television channels through something called a program code. Let me show you what this program code is. It says no program should be carried in the cable service which offends against good taste or decency, contains criticism of friendly countries, criticizes, maligns or slanders any individual in person or certain group segments of social, public and moral life of the country, contains visuals or words which reflect a slandering, ironical and snobbish attitude in the portrayal of certain ethnic, linguistic and regional groups. Yes, it actually uses words like snobbish attitude, whatever that means. You know, when you put in words like snobbish attitudes or even criticizes, maligns or slanders or good taste and decency into law, friendly bureaucrats and government like an opportunity to just interpret it in whatever way they want. Some people might find this stream to be snobbish, slanderous, not in good taste or not decent, and then they can just come after me. But the thing is, this was for TV, yeah? Now that's about to change. You see, the implementation of this code that I just showed you has been kind of selective over the years. When a government in power thinks uncomfortable things are being shown on TV, it brought down the hammer on it. In November 2016, NDTV was shut down for a day under this act, and News Time Assam was asked to run an apology for violation of the code. Between 2004 and 2010, at least 180 notices were sent for violation of this code. Between 2005 and November 2016, 30 channels were ordered to be banned for a period ranging from 1 day to 2 months. Suffice to say, this was a law that was used by all governments in power. Okay, now cut to 2023. Through the use of regulation, media ownership, advertising, and selective favoritism, the government has managed to practically kill all critical journalism on TV. Godhi media, Zindabad. But now people are steadily getting more information from their smartphones than TV. I mean, Arnab and company screaming every day on your face was great for a while, but even the audience was like, too much only. This is too much only. I need to maintain my sanity and get some actual information, FFS. So according to this report, there are 700 million or more internet users aged 2 or older in India currently. This is according to Nielsen's India Internet Report 2023. Rural India had 425 million registered internet users, which is almost 45% higher than urban areas. Adding that, urban India had 295 million active internet users. It also says, as per the study, there were 450 plus million monthly video watchers in India. With video watching and video calling being top 2 online activities amongst those aged 12 and older. What this means is that the audience is moving away from TV and onto their smartphones. And you can see it happening everywhere, and it is a natural progression. Can't wait for TV news to finally die, to be honest. But anyway, what has been happening is there are people who are critical of the government who have been coming up on the internet. They can become one-person broadcast mediums. They are reaching giant amount of audiences through their videos. There are people like Ravish Kumar, Dhruv Rathi, even Abhi and Niyu. And I guess I'm also one of them. We are reaching people when we don't have space in mainstream media. So, looking at all of this, the government is like, so all these journalists and creators now need to be tamed. And to do that, they are proposing the Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. What does it do? In short, they are replacing the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act. They're not just replacing this, they're making its scope broader. They want the program code to be applied to everyone and anyone who has an audience through an audio-visual medium. YouTube, Netflix, Prime, Twitter, WhatsApp, you name it. The definition of who is a broadcaster is so wide that it includes anyone who is talking about current affairs and news. Let me show you. Okay, section 20 kidhar hai? News and current affairs programs. Any person who broadcasts news and current affairs programs through an online paper, news portal, website, social media intermediary, or any other similar medium, but excluding publishers of newspapers and replica e-papers of such newspapers, as a part of a systematic business, professional or commercial activity, shall adhere to the program code and advertisement code referred to in section 19. The provisions of this act as applicable to OTT broadcast network operators shall also apply mutatis mutandis to the persons referred to in subsection 1, and the central government may prescribe rules and issue guidelines under the provisions of this act. This is important. I'll tell you about it more later. Another thing, just wanted to tell you how they define broadcasting as well. Broadcasting means one-to-many transmission of audio-visual or audio-visual programs using a broadcast network, intended to be received or made available for viewing by the general public or by subscribers of the broadcast network, as the case may be, and the expression broadcasting services shall be construed accordingly. Broadcasting network means a system used for the transmission of programs, including cable networks, satellite networks, internet networks, radio broadcasting networks, and terrestrial broadcasting networks. Basically, all networks. So, by bringing literally everyone under their regulatory control, they will be able to apply this code selectively and take action on people selectively. There would be people with independent YouTube channels or even Twitter journalists who post videos there. Even if you are a small-time journalist who goes out and takes bites from people, you see so many of those Bhakt compilations coming up. You will fall under this category if you reach a certain amount of audience as well. If you are someone who just does this video journalism and sends it over WhatsApp or even talks about current affairs, you can come into the ambit of this law as well. And then if the government thinks you have violated the program code, you can be punished. The punishment can range from an advisory to imprisonment to a fine to taking you off air completely. Oh wait, that's not all. There is one more thing they can do. Say hello to power of inspection. The central government or agency so authorized by it or authorized officer shall have the right to inspect broadcasting networks and services. Again, remember, services means everything. On being so directed by the central government or agency so authorized by it or authorized officer, they will decide who the officer is. Operator of broadcast network or broadcasting services shall provide necessary equipment, services and facilities at designated places or places of lawful interception or continuous monitoring at its own cost under the supervision of the central government or agency so authorized by it or the authorized officer. No prior permission or intimation shall be required to exercise the right of central government or its authorized officers or agency so authorized by it to carry out such inspection. So they can just show up whenever without telling you. But no, there is this also. Power to seize and confiscate equipment. If any authorized officer has reason to believe that provisions under this act or rules or guidelines are being contravened by the operator of the broadcasting network or broadcasting services specified in the second schedule, he may seize the equipment of such broadcasting network or broadcasting services. In short, they can come in and they can just take away everything I have right now here in this room. One thing I need to tell you here is that the program code, the new program code, is not yet available for review. But given the old shitty program code that I showed you, which is applicable to TV, we can expect something similar or even worse to come up with words like decency, morality, I don't know, national interest, or, snobbish behavior, or, criticizing Modi ji. Why you criticize Modi ji? It is against program code. This is a draft bill that is being proposed, and the code will be introduced as a rule after this bill is passed by Parliament. That's another thing, by the way. The government is giving itself immense powers to make the code through a simple notification. Here's another thing. Section 39 is about provisions in relation to emerging and future broadcasting technologies. It says the central government may, by notification, make the provisions of this act specified in such notification applicable to any entities which are providing broadcasting services using any method referred to in subsection 3. This whole clause is saying that if at any point in the future a service comes up which they think is a broadcasting service, they can just bring it under the ambit of this law through a notification. Let me show you some of the rules. So the government can, by notification, make rules to do these things. The period of time within which certain entities to cease to provide broadcasting services or broadcasting network under subsection 4. The form and manner and the period of time of transfer of operations, assets, liabilities. The social objectives and terms and conditions applicable on certain broadcasters or broadcasting networks to allow them registration or intimation. Social objectives? Okay then. Here's a good one. The number of subscribers or viewers above which OTT broadcasting service operator required to intimate central government and the form and manner of intimation under subsection 2 and 16. So they are going to essentially also define how much audience you need to reach in order to become a part of this law, to be counted as a broadcaster. So it can be like 10 people, it can be 1 million people, and they can just change it whenever. So this bill is currently up for public consultation. I'll leave a link below in the description to so that you can go and read it. I'll also leave links to some articles which you can go through in order to understand this issue better. The last date for comments is 9th of December this month. No, next month. Sorry, it's November. Yeah, 9th of December. And you can send your comments on isb-moib@government.in. So, in conclusion, what does this all mean? As I said in the beginning of the video, the feeling of fear is about to grow by leaps and bounds. You might be someone who just consumes content coming out of India, and you must be thinking, hey, this doesn't really affect me. Well, it does. It does. If you are someone who has an anonymous account on Twitter and you share memes and videos which even remotely associate with current affairs, this law might potentially make you obey the code. And if it doesn't right now, if it makes the government uncomfortable at some point, one of your memes goes viral, they can just put in a notification and make you a part of this law. If you are someone who regularly shares videos on social and political issues on WhatsApp groups, you might be asked to obey the code or suffer consequences. If you run an Instagram account where you share news in audio-visual format, congratulations, you have to become a broadcaster and now you must obey the code. If you are someone who is thinking of starting a YouTube channel to talk about politics, well, best of luck. Yes, I'm talking about myself, and I just started this channel. Like literally months ago I started this channel and this is happening. What the actual fuck? Anyway, if this law is passed, the government will get a legal weapon to shut down your favorite content creators who are pushing boundaries even a little bit, being a bit critical of the establishment, or even just sharing news which makes the powers that be uncomfortable. As a consumer of such content, you will now get shitty content. That's basically what is going to happen. All of this is happening right now. Thought you should know about it. Thanks for watching.